Chris, first of all, welcome to Melbourne.
Thanks, mate.
It must be a real relief to be here just from a physical point of view, but it's been a really tough leg, hasn't it, for the team?
Yeah, it has. Like, physically not so tough. Obviously, the first week was pretty hard on everyone physically, but then towards the end, you know, like, just the fact we're in lighter air and a different weather system, you know, that was just hard on the brain, not so much the body. So, yeah, good to be here. We know the boat's going to be in good shape, and physically the rest of us are in good shape. So, you know, there's no reason why we can't perform the way we should have and could have on this leg.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because those first few days out of Cape Town, you guys looked great. You were mixing it at the front of the fleet.
Yep, we're in good shape, and you know, and then we took a jibe back into the low, a lot of breeze, and then, you know, got a jibe wrong. You know, mainly my fault, getting that wrong, and we paid a breakage price, and then we went on the back foot for a couple of days, and we didn't fix it as quick as we could have, and we missed the weather system, and that's it, done. You know, I don't, you know, you always knew it could happen. You always knew you could pay a price like that, but it's never really happened. Normally you can recover and get back into it, but this one was, you know, a big lesson learned.
From a resilience point of view and a resourcefulness point of view, I mean, you say you didn't fix it as quick as you could, but I think a lot of people were impressed that there was a repair to be done and you could get back to virtually full strength.
Yeah, it was a pretty hairy situation as well, like, to start with, you know, with 40 to 50 knots and, you know, damaged mainsail, damaged mast, and we're, you know, like, you're on the edge trying to work out how do we fix this? You know, you've forgotten about racing, well and truly, by that stage, and you're going, how do we get this thing down before it drops a rig, and then all of a sudden your whole race is done. So, to recover from all that, to get going, that's all the good things. You know, of course you'd always like to fix it quicker and get going faster, but, you know, like when you know, my first thoughts when it broke were like, whoa, you know, this absolute major here, and we got through it. So that's why it was good, and, you know, and there weren't any recriminations, and everyone stayed with the right sort of attitude throughout. So it doesn't say much for this leg, but it might say more for future legs, how we go and how we can handle things.
For the sailors who would understand the technicalities of this, can you talk us through just what happened and you know, why you had to jibe there in so much breeze, and what actually went wrong? Well,
first of all, there was more breeze there than what we thought was going to be there, and we tried to get a third reef in on the main. We couldn't get it on the lock. We were approaching the ice gate rapidly.
How close were you to that?
We ended up about 9 miles off, but that 9 miles disappears in a heartbeat, and we had to get the jibe in because of the shift in the breeze. We left some of the stack on one side, which we normally wouldn't do. Then we had a timing issue getting the main in. I had a timing issue pushing the curl button through. Bad jibe, broke the battens, tore the track off the mast. Now, battens you can accept braking type of deal. The track was a bit of a one out of left field. So if we'd had one problem, either problem in isolation, wouldn't have been a drama. We would have maybe dropped an hour or two. And we had a good shift, we had good breeze, and we were, you know, Jill's had done all the right things. But both problems together compounded, you know, it was a showstopper.
Yeah.
So we had to shut down racing for, you know, it took us, I don't know, 2 days to fix it.
The video of you, I guess pretty soon after that incident, after the crash, I'll be honest with you, you look pretty shell-shocked by the whole thing. How did you feel at that point?
Oh, just, you know, like, you know, a lot of it was on my head, that not going right. So, yeah, I was, you know, the boat and the crew were one thing, all that was in good shape. I was pretty pissed with myself, so, to put it bluntly. So, yeah, so that's probably where that reaction was at. So, but, you know, like, you know, mistakes are made and someone has to, you know, be doing that in the first place. So that's you know, that's there. It won't happen again. But so yeah, you know, and then, you know, there's a big difference with the boats. Like, the boats are really robust, and we could race the boat quite fast in 40 knots, which is kind of unheard of. But then you really quickly realise, as soon as you brake the boat and you slow down, you're extremely vulnerable to the waves. Like, whereas when the boat's working, you're going as fast as the waves. It's in relatively safe, calm conditions as such. But as soon as you brake and slow down, you're a sitting duck for big breaking waves, and that was an interesting thing that turned out. Yeah, we can race these boats in 40 to 50. But if we have a problem, then we're in real trouble. Whereas in the past, you wouldn't go near 40 to 50 ever, because you knew you'd come unstuck. But now the boats, you know, can do it. So it's a real interesting, you know, quandary to be in, especially with some of these next legs, you know, Auckland Brazil legs. It's a different look on things.
I wanted to ask you about after the accident, when the guys were up the rig trying to get the repair done. You were steering, and we saw some ferocious looking waves that you were steering at. There's one that's curling behind your head as you kind of grim-faced steer down the wave.
It's all right if I didn't see that. That's fine. It's the ones in front I've got to keep my eye on.
But that was that was pretty hairy, wasn't it? Getting the early parts of that repair done in that much breeze.
And, you know, and I don't enjoy, obviously, guys out on the bowsprit or even on the foredeck or up the rig. You know, you're trying your best to make it as smooth a ride as possible. You know, if you take a wipeout or whatever, they're in a really vulnerable position. So yeah, you know, like, got to keep it safe.
And now we're here in Melbourne. We're pretty confident the rig can be repaired, all of that stuff. Is this where the fight back starts for this team?
Yeah, I think it started a few days after the breakage, and it probably started when we were on the ice skate, you know, 3-4 days later, when the other teams are putting 50 miles on us a sked. Probably started then, where you're copping it on the chin. You're going to cop it on the chin for days or possibly weeks to come. You know, you've got to get your head around that, and also the fact that you're not side by side with anyone. You're delivering this boat as fast as possible, but you're not competing side by side with someone, and we miss it. You know, miss it terribly. So that will be good. I think. You know, I think everybody on board is keen to go again. So, you know, missed opportunity, absolutely. It really was. So, you know, we can only try our best and sort of repay the faith people have in us, and put a good foot forward.